In a story we covered early last year, guys, I believe right around a year ago, a very disturbing story, and I must say these are still ongoing accusations, very serious ones at that, from the Smash Bros scene, have now been somewhat responded to by the person accused in that initial story, that being Cinnpie, formerly known as Cinnamon. If you guys want to check out that video we made on this, or several other videos around that same topic that give you, well, a lot of the claims that were made by, at the time, a 14-year-old Puppeh who had come out. He is now much older, as this story is stemming from years and years ago, but those accusations were incredibly tough to read out, as at the time, Puppeh came out years later, but at the time he was just 14 years old, and what he accuses was being groomed and preyed upon by, at the time, 24-year-old Cinnpie. We dove into those accusations, of which it starts out with the two simply being carpool buddies. They would travel to local events and lands together, and eventually what led to what Puppeh accuses and alleges was a sexual relationship, both in messages on Facebook and Snapchat, of which he was later demanded by Cinnpie to delete some of those messages. And then eventually some of the more serious issues and allegations he did make was at one point at a party. It was Cinnpie tackling him to the ground and beginning to make out with him. And what he eventually also accuses, the most serious accusation, was that the 24-year-old and at the time the 14-year-old, their sexual interaction had also eventually led to oral sex as well. Again, if you guys want to check out those videos or other videos, there are plenty on that topic. Those accusations also came with a lot of videos of those local LAN events where the two were seen together quite a bit in what some would call maybe some bizarre interactions, given the sheer age difference between the two characters.
Ooh, I think he was already dead, but that was definitely the last nail in the coffin that he needed.
Great way to start. Well, I'm off.
All right, it was a pleasure, man.
Hope I get to commentate again. I expect to get out soon.
Wow, at that. Come on, man.
No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Just kind of took that for free, you know? Yep. I think Thanos personally should go Jigglypuff. I'm going to say it out loud so he can hear me. Maybe here go Jigglypuff. I don't know. I'm just saying I'd love to see some Jigglypuff.
Make it a Pokemon battle.
And he's not doing it. All right, man. I tried, guys.
He's going to stick with the Mii Brawler.
Off the missed PK fire. All right, Logic getting the first game. Not bad, not bad.
Yeah, he's looking way more comfortable in this set than he was before.
Good. Like I said, man, like I feel like, you know, all right, he lost in winners, but, you know, for him, a lot of times that can be a good thing because he'll assess what went wrong in that first set. You know what I mean? He'll make the necessary corrections to get his head where it needs to be. And then, you know, we kind of saw it in that first game. Not getting flustered at any moment, just controlling the pace, and it paid off big time.
Yep. Big key to success, but now he has to do it on Jeff's pick. And I feel like he won't pick a stage like as big as Battlefield. Lucas, I feel like, does have slightly better offensive tools, so he might want to box him in a little bit more just to make him feel like uncomfortable, like before he gets that lead, you know? And yeah, Smashville's the pick. And
it's just, it's so hard to talk about these kind of things without, you know, feeling very uncomfortable about the entire situation. We are probably going to be awaiting a Puppeh response on all of this stuff, which we thought was maybe over with. I think a lot of people out there thought Cinnpie had just done up and it was probably gone away with until a few days ago. She has now responded in one of the oddest ways of responding that I have frankly ever seen. There are some serious claims she does bring up in this post, of which majority of it does not address at all the accusations, the very serious ones made by Puppeh, which I think a lot of people, rightfully and justifiably so, were expecting an explanation. If you're going to come out after this prolonged absence and say anything, even if it's just a sorry or an explanation of that, to which she did not give in this post. That post also including a cease and desist order to all people on all social media to not be putting out any more defamatory things about her, which I was confused by. So I want to reinstate, these are accusations we talked about made by Puppeh himself. We'll see if he continues to respond, but now let's read her post. After this prolonged absence and these very serious accusations, here is what she had to say. A trigger warning as well, because this article does mention some own accusations of her actually being a victim of abuse as well. As she says, "I have never in my life R-worded anyone. I'm not a pedophile. I have never forced another person to be in a sexual or romantic relationship with me in any way." That seems to be kind of the only thing she had to say around the Puppeh accusations. She continues, "I have never consented to or asked anyone to wait until I'm blackout drunk, vomiting, and unconscious to put their body parts anywhere inside of or on me in any way with any of the people that ever have throughout my life, including in 2016, especially not with a nearly 40-year-old man who lures groups of young competitors in just to drug a woman with his alcohol, carry her away in front of them to sexually abuse her, then leave her alone in that condition to pass out around a group of men. I was an irresponsible, inappropriate, and immature 23-year-old in 2016, but through therapy, I can now decisively say that it doesn't mean I deserved any of it. My lawyer has advised me not to share details or names outside of the courtroom for legality purposes. All witnesses and evidence will remain private. I hope that any young women out there or person reading this will reconsider living recklessly and drowning their trauma in alcoholism or addiction, not just within the Smash scene and the wider fighting game community, but everywhere. Preventing others from experiencing any of what I have is all that matters anymore. I realize there's people out there like me who've been sexually abused as children and young adults who are living with the events that it may have caused to develop mental disorders such as suicidal ideation. Don't give up. Don't try and mask your trauma with alcohol or drugs either. You'll wind up in a dangerous situation. No one will protect you, and bad things will happen to you. Go to psychologytoday.com and search for a therapist who takes your insurance. If you don't have any and can't afford it, go to healthcare.gov and apply for free Medicaid insurance. Then, for the good of yourself and everyone around you, get therapy. Life isn't easy for anyone. I'm going to continue my own therapy, and I'm going to continue living because I am alive. Stop telling me to kill myself. I finally decided not to, because I'm going to try to help people like me." And those are very serious things to say, not to make light of in any way whatsoever. Obviously, there is some sort of legal proceeding ongoing with her own self being a victim of abuse. I want to say that a lot of people's responses out there, and I still think they may be justified as well, is because of the ongoing accusations against her. She responds after this silence saying that she has also been abused, which in no way makes right her being a potential abuser either. But she does say there's a legal process ongoing. All sources, all names will not be named for the time being, so I guess we will wait and see what does come out ever since then. But I don't blame anyone for wanting answers to the situation, explanation to the situation of the serious accusations also towards her being a potential and an accused and an alleged groomer of, at the time, 14-year-old kid. And I think that's fair to say. We will wait and see what happens here. Obviously, a lot of people in the Smash scene very confused by the ongoing circumstances, of which last year was quite possibly the worst year we have ever seen in any gaming or esports space whatsoever, with over 100 players being accused of very serious things. It's been a nightmare to try and cover and look after, and now it just continues with this continuing as well. Until next time, you take care of yourselves. We will see what happens next as well. Cinnpie has now responded after a prolonged silence around the accusations towards Puppeh with a story of her own, and apparently more soon to come, as she did reply the day after, saying that yes, apparently more is coming. Until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you back here sometime soon.